Coming up next on The Jeff Crilley Show, we'll be talking to one of the founders of a revolutionary new company that is helping protect children from sex trafficking, predators, and online bullying. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed...
Burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home. We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network. We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is The Jeff Crilley Show. Well, it's a parent's worst nightmare. Your child is out there gaming and they're meeting somebody that they should not be meeting while playing an online video game. I was shocked to learn that there have not been a lot of solutions to this until now. David Everitt, he is one of the co-founders of GameSafe. Thank you for coming on the show.
And thanks for having me, Jeff.
Let's begin at the beginning. So how did this start?
Well, this started back in 2017. I have a couple of wonderful daughters. At the time, my youngest, Adeline, we allowed them to game, right? We allowed them to game within a certain scope, within some different boundaries that we put up for them. And being an IT guy myself, I was able to put in some tech kind of scenarios to where I could insulate them a bit, make sure they have fake profiles, things like that, to where somebody out there couldn't get personal information. We wouldn't let them put pictures of themselves online, things of that nature, because we just know that that's just a little bit too risky. Well, I was working as a consultant and working from home and then going out to the clients, on a rotation, if you will. And my little one was in the other room playing a game, and I'm working on a different solution. And she comes running in, and she's like, Daddy, somebody's trying to get my personal information. Okay, time. Right, and they're these really fun little games where children are interacting with each other, and they're able to build things together. But my daughter knew, come talk to Daddy. So I get my computer, and I go in there, and I pretend I'm her. And I start having this conversation with this little boy avatar. A little boy, as in quotation marks, right? Is this really even a little boy? And as I'm doing that, I'm noticing, kind of scrolling back in the previous chats that they have, he was trying to engage kind of a geographic location of where she was, talking about the park in her area, and using a bit of kind of tactic as I perceived it in order to try to figure out where my daughter was. I didn't know at the time if it was a bad situation, if it was a harmful situation, and so I went and I started to look for this person with my computer on the gaming forums to see if there was anything posted about this guy, this gamer tag. And after I went through a couple of different things, I found out that this person had been reported as originating from Sierra Leone and had been in predation kind of conversations with other children to where it concerned the other parents enough to post online. So then I gathered this information and I went and I engaged. I'm in security, I work in IT, I'm the dad, and this is what I know about you. And the guy was gone. Right? And so I thought it was a small victory. I left it at that for a minute, and I thought, well, there's got to be something out there because I'm a busy working guy. I let my kids game. There's got to be a solution, right? You would think that with the gaming market, what it is, that somebody would have invested the time and energy in order to protect kids in this space. Couldn't find anything, right? I found something that covered everything else. I found 5 things that covered everything else. And so I kind of started to let that ruminate in my head over the next 6 months. How difficult can this be? I rolled off of the project I was on. We went to a different kind of space where I was going to take some time and try to recap that family time after spending 16 hours a day. And during that time, I started to kind of think about the solution, right? Okay, well, if I go about this programmatically, how can I do this, and why is this such a challenge? And I found out, it's a closed system. It's very difficult to really look into. There's no programmatic way to do it, so you have to come up with your own technology. And that's basically where we started.
All right, we're going to talk more about the technology in a second, but
Sure.
There's a nice overview video that we found. Let's go ahead and roll that now. So as I'm watching that as a parent myself, that's horrifying. And I'm shocked that the gaming industry didn't come up with a solution already. Were you also shocked?
I was very shocked. I spent at least 4 days, because if I don't find it soon or quickly, then I'm starting to see that there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. And I was just going, okay, how difficult can this be? Why hasn't anybody invested the time and effort into making sure that while my kid is gaming on this system, they're going to be safe?
So I'm kind of imagining, is it AI and it's looking for things like we should meet? I mean,
you're right on the right path. So what I wanted to do, and what we're able to do now with our technology, is we go in and we're able to see what's happening in the kids' conversation as they're engaged in that game. So we start to look, and the little robot that we've developed is able to kind of look and see what's going on, and then make a determination if those conversations are potentially predatorial, if they're self-harming, if there's drug kind of language, if there's an opportunity for that child to be offered to go to a different platform to continue the conversation. We've really put a lot of thought and energy into all of the different problems and different ways that a predator or situation could potentially lead to harming a child.
And you have some really big partners. We're going to go ahead and put that on the screen so people can take a look at it. Some of these are big names. I'm familiar with Aleda and Deliver Fund. Tell us about your partners.
Our partners are just amazing. We're all aligned, obviously, with the one goal of making sure that kids are protected. And what we've really identified with our partners is that a lot of their duties has been to come in afterwards and clean up the mess. And so with these partners, with Aleda and Deliver Fund and Internet Crimes Against Children, they see this as a preventative tool. And so they're excited to get behind us and be a part of working together. These are partners that are making a difference, right? Yes. They're going in and they're rescuing children. They're working with law enforcement. They are law enforcement, right? And they've helped provide us the data that we need, as well as because we have to train these models. We have to teach our robots how to really identify this stuff, and it requires a massive amount of data, right? And so we came up with some pretty wise, with Aleda's help, came up with some very, very smart technology and solutions to this, to where we can make sure that all the time in our process, we're not sending out something that may not really be a bad situation, and intervening with the parents, we're demanding some kind of interaction, because our app wants the parent to be involved in making the decisions. We just want to bring the situation to them.
Yes.
Right? That's all I care about. I don't know if there is something that a parent or the conversation might be coming to where the parents okayed this, right? It could be something that's really not a threat. So we have customized our solution in a way that the parent reviews, right? The parent makes that decision, but they have that alert saying, okay, yeah, we think we see something. Would you help us to identify with your child? Is this something that is an issue? And then we train our little robot on how to better serve that child.
Well, David, I know there's probably a lot of parents saying, how soon can I get my hands on this? Can I have it yesterday?
Right.
What's the timeline for this going to market?
Right. Timeline is we are aggressively going now and looking to start a beta round to where we'll release a small subset, 250,000 3-month subscriptions, if you will, at a very discounted rate. And so what that will do, we're just looking to cover our operational costs starting June 1st. We'll initially release to where the games will be, the child will be on a gaming device on Windows computers first, because that's 23% of the marketplace right now.
Sure.
Then we'll launch an Android version to where the kid will be playing, the child will be on an Android or a Windows machine. And then we'll finally launch the Apple. So we're going for 3 successive months of a new beta release with that added functionality starting June 1st, hoping to get to our projected release date for US market is October 1.
Wow. Well, this really changed your life, didn't it? You were
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh.
headed down one path, and all of a sudden,
It absolutely did. And it's something that's been part of my past. So my father is also David Everitt, so I'm a junior. And he was committed to the sanctity of human life issues all of his life. He actually ran the crisis pregnancy centers.
Wow.
And so this has been pivotal in my life and part of my upbringing. And it's kind of me taking it into this next generation of the need that's really that's surfaced right now is that kids are online, especially with COVID.
Yes.
11 hours a day they're on their devices right now.
That was surprising when I saw that
Yeah.
in your clip there. And so we only have about a minute left. For the parent watching, how concerned should they be about online bullying, self-harm, human trafficking? Is this 1 in a million, or is it more prevalent?
It's a 93% increase in predator activity. That's since COVID. And with the amount of time your children, my children, are online right now, the focus has been, let's groom kids from the predator standpoint. Let's groom these children. Let's focus in this fuel sex trafficking and human trafficking, right? So there is great concern in this area.
David, you've been an amazing guest. We're going to have you back again soon. We're going to end by putting up the website. It's gamesafe.us is the website. David Everitt, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I really appreciate being here. Thanks, Jeff.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.